What's up guys, Chris here from Mainely Mesh. I couldn't be more excited today to announce our first ever collaboration series with Universal Lacrosse and VII Dyes, introducing an Olympic themed series of Optik U's just in time for the games down in Rio de Janeiro. As most of you guys know, the Summer Olympics happen every 4 years, but I wanted to give you a little bit of history on the games for those of you who might not know much about it. As many of you all probably do know, the original Olympic Games were held by the ancient Greeks between the 8th century BC running up through the 4th century AD. After that, it wasn't until the year 1894 that the International Olympic Committee was refounded, and the first Summer Games after that were held in 1896. Since then, the Olympic Games have represented a time where countries can come together and hopefully put down their arms in order to celebrate the beautiful nature of sport and all the good things that come from it. Here we have 5 different colorways of Maverick Optik U strung with ECD Gray Striker Hero Mesh in order to represent the 5 colors that you can find on the Olympic flag's rings. First colorway is royal blue. Second colorway is yellow. Third colorway is black. Fourth colorway is forest green. Final colorway is red. The reason those 5 colors were selected by the International Olympic Committee is because each country in the world has at least one of those colors in its flag. Also, the reason there are only 5 rings is because those represent the 5 inhabited continents in the world: Africa, America, Asia, Europe, and Oceania. Bet you didn't know Oceania was a continent. To me, the Olympics have always been about what is most beautiful about the sport, like I said before. It truly is a celebration of the individual athletes and sacrificing more than we thought was humanly capable in order to achieve the goal of representing your country on an international stage, playing international sport. Obviously, lacrosse is not yet featured in the Olympic Games. We hope it will be soon enough, but that doesn't mean we can't celebrate our country mates as they go on in order to achieve everything they've ever dreamed of, which is standing on that podium, holding a gold medal, listening to the national anthem. Personally, I've been fortunate enough to attend 2 Olympic Summer Games. The first was back at the 1996 Atlanta Olympic Games down in Georgia, the city of my birth, where I still remember my father pushing me in a stroller and watching the marathon runners run by. And to see people run that fast at a marathon distance, I still remember it to this day as an example of true dedication to the sport, and it definitely changed my perspective on athletics from a very young age. The second time I was able to attend was actually back at the 2012 Summer Olympics in London, and what really struck me going back to the Summer Olympics after such a long time and being old enough to really process the atmosphere was just how positive everyone was at all of the venues, in the places in between. There wasn't that kind of negative vibe that you get at most sporting venues where there's a winner and a loser and 2 opponents. Here, everybody was just celebrating the athletes, and no matter who won each event, there was always a storyline. There was always someone to be celebrated, and just because an American didn't make the final stage, or just because a Chinese didn't make the final stage, or just because anybody else in the world didn't make the podium, it didn't mean that there wasn't something to cheer for. And I'll never really forget that whole positive vibe and just the atmosphere of warmth and receptivity that all of the countries showed to all of the athletes in the games. But as an American, I obviously feel a little more inclined to pull for our American comrades as they head down south to achieve all of their Olympic dreams, which is why here, in all of the optics that we're stringing, we're using an entire made in the USA setup. We have our Maverick Optik, which is obviously made in the US. We have our East Coast dyes, Gray Striker Hero Mesh, also made in the US, as well as American-made strings to make sure you guys are not only supporting the Olympic Games in general, but also your country in the process. So make sure you guys head on over to universallacrosse.com. I'll include a link down in the bio in order to snag yours. This is a very limited run of heads. There are indeed more than just 5, but not many more. So check them out. Thanks so much to Universal. Also to our dying comrade, VII/V2/7 dyes. And thanks so much, guys. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you guys next time. Happy viewing.